everyone, it's Crystal. Today we're going to go over 4 essential expressions that are related to your mind, what they mean, how we use them, and how they might be different from the expressions you may already know. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's start with keep in mind or bear in mind, which mean the same thing. When we keep something in mind, it means that we will remember it, especially if it is important in the future. It can also mean to be mindful of or to take into consideration. So if someone tells you something that you would like to remember, you could say, "I'll keep that in mind," or "I'll keep it in mind," meaning you will be sure to remember that.
I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind.
Another example is, please bear in mind that our inventory is still low, which means we need to take into consideration or remember that our stock is low. We can also say, keep someone in mind, like keep me in mind, keep him in mind. For example, let's say that you are interviewed at a company, but they don't want to hire you at that moment. You could tell them, please keep me in mind if any other positions open up, which means please remember or take me into consideration if any other positions are available. Keep in mind can also mean to be mindful of or take into consideration, as in, please keep in mind that John is hard of hearing, so you will need to speak a little louder, which means please be mindful of or considerate of John's hearing problems and act appropriately. Now let's take a look at make up one's mind. When we make up our mind, we are making a final decision after some consideration. Compared to just making a decision, making up our mind usually involves some difficulty making that decision or taking more time to consider all of the options. I've made up my mind. I'm going to law school. It sounds like I have made a decision after some consideration. Going to law school is usually a difficult decision. So once I have finally decided, I might use this term instead of just making a decision. Or if you cannot make a difficult decision, you might ask someone, "I can't make up my mind. Could you help me?"
I haven't made up my mind. I haven't made up my mind.
Another example might be, you have got to make up your mind, which means you really need to decide soon. So you might say this to someone who is having a hard time making a decision. Let's move on to slip your mind. When something slips your mind, it means that it has been forgotten, usually an obligation to do something. It is fairly informal in tone, and you often hear this expression with the words totally or completely, as in, completely slipped my mind. If someone asks you to do something, but you forgot to do it, you could say, "I'm sorry, it totally slipped my mind," which means that you forgot to do what they asked. Or, My friend's birthday was yesterday, but it completely slipped my mind. Meaning, yesterday was your friend's birthday, but you forgot about it.
You don't remember. Did it slip your mind? You don't remember. Did it slip your mind?
Or you might tell your coworker or friend, I meant to call you yesterday, but it must have slipped my mind. Which means I was going to call you yesterday, but I guess I forgot. Now let's look at the question, do you mind? When someone asks you, do you mind if I sit here? How should you answer? Do you mind means, does it bother you? Or is it a problem? So they are asking if it is a problem if they sit next to you. If you are okay with them sitting next to you, you could say, no, go ahead. No, not at all. Or, no, I don't mind. If you are not okay with them sitting by you, we usually don't say, yes, I mind, because it sounds very cold and pretty impolite. We will often say, I'm sorry, but, and give a reason why it is not okay, such as, I'm sorry, but the seat is taken. Or, I'm sorry, but I'm waiting for my friends.
Do you mind if I sit? Do you mind if I sit?
Here's another example. Do you mind if I play some music? If you are okay with it, you could say, no, not at all. Go ahead. But if you are not okay with them playing music, then you could say, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to study. Or, I'm sorry, but I have a lot of work I need to catch up on. I hope that you all keep some of these expressions in mind the next time you want to speak English with someone. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. We hope that you subscribe for new content, and until next time, bye!